We're staying in our object layer properties.dwg file, and what we're going to have a look at now is working with layer states. Sometimes you need to change your layer colors, your layer properties in order to highlight particular elements on a drawing that might need to be changed, might need to be revised, and so on. So at the moment, we've got everything on its appropriate layers. We've got the hinge on the hinge layers, we've got the nut and bolt on the bolt layer, we've got the keyhole on the keyhole layer. So at the moment, that would become, in essence, an existing layer state, for example. Now, you can get to your layer states in two ways. Let's go via the Layer Properties Manager first. So, Layers panel on the Home tab on the ribbon and Layer Properties. And it's this little icon here, the Layer States Manager. This will open up the Layer States Manager like so. I click on New, and the new layer state name will be Existing. So this is all my existing layers, and you might want to give it a description, Layers as Existing, for example. So make sure you spell it right, unlike me. As usual, my fantastically large thumbs get in the way. So Layers as Existing, there we go. And we click on OK. So you can see there that that's in the model space and it's been saved. It's saying, yes, it's been saved. So if I restore that now, even though I haven't made any changes, I can then go back into the drawing, closing the Layer Properties Manager, and I've got an existing layer state. Now, if I go to the Layer Flyout menu here and pin it open, you'll notice there's my layer state there, existing. If I click on the little drop down, I can manage my layer states there as well on the drop-down menu, which is very useful. And I can also just click here like so and select an existing layer state, or I can click there and get a new layer state. So let's just hit escape a couple of times just to lose the drop-down menu, but I will keep this pinned open. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on the hinge here. I'm going to select these lines here like so. Now, if I change the properties of those lines, will it affect the layer? It won't, because they're individual properties. So I could change that, and I could put them on a different layer, and that would change it. But ideally, what I want to do now is go to my Layer Properties Manager. So I'm going to hit Escape and deselect those lines, and I'm going to make a layer change, not a properties change. So I want my hinge layer to change color. So there's my hinge layer there on the layer drop down. I click on the box. I want that to be red, and I OK it. And you can see that changes in the drawing. Now you'll notice I'm in an unsaved layer state. I'm not in the existing layer state anymore because the color of the hinge layer has changed. So I go New Layer State, and I'll call this Hinge Red. Very self-explanatory. And we'll say there that the hinge layer is red, and I'll OK that. So now I've got two different layer states. I've got hinge red. If I click on the drop down, I've also got existing. So if I now click on existing, it takes me back to the yellow of the hinge. If I go to hinge red, changes the color. So it allows me to create different layer states to highlight different elements in my AutoCAD drawings.